There we go. So there it's a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad you're doing better. Hope your dad's doing well as well. That's scary stuff, getting in a car wreck. Earth. So yeah, welcome everybody to another installment of Primrose's stream, tentatively titled The Furry Running Club, although I'm kind of the only one, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So thank you. It's been a bit of a weekend. There's been a lot. There's been a lot that's going on, and I actually have stuff to show. I have pictures and I have things to say because I ran my second marathon on Saturday. Yes, we are both doing better. We have gotten an insurance claim and injury claim to open. Ah, excellent. Yes, because the way you described it to me seems like it's pretty open and shut. That the person who rear-ended you, not in a good way, unfortunately. The person who rear-ended you and pushed you into the car in front of you is responsible for all the damages to the car, for the car that you hit in front of you, for everything, and for all this injury stuff that you're going through, both you and your father. So, what a mess! What a mess! I'm glad you're okay, love. I would be very, very, very distraught if you had been hurt. Earth. I'm sorry. So anyway, before we get into the whole explanation of what Prim was doing this weekend, just a few announcements, a little housekeeping first. First thing, yep, our insurance is looking into it now. Okay, excellent. Yep, they'll go after that poor person who did not pay attention on the ice and is now hitting life because now they have 3 cars to deal with and a bunch of people on Earth. That's not good. Hopefully they were okay too, though. Earth. Anyway, just a few announcements. So, exclamation point Discord. We do have a Discord server. It should hopefully pop it up every 30 minutes or so, although I don't know if that's actually working. It was only started on Thul's stream on Thursday. I don't know if anybody actually saw it. I could see it go out a couple times, but there was a lot going on in that stream, so I may have missed it a bunch. But coincident with the Discord, it is extremely useful to be in there because this coming Saturday, be there or be square, we will be having our very first movie night here in the stream. Not in the stream, in the community, not streaming. We won't be streaming this because, yeah, copyright. So, but we will be watching our first movie, or I will be watching a movie. I love this movie. I am going to cry, I guarantee you, because I've seen this a couple times already. I started watching it again to make sure I could find it on YouTube, but I ended up watching the whole thing again, and I'll watch it again because I love it so much. And we will be watching a documentary called Spirit of the Marathon. Wait. I gotta pull this one up. There we go. Sorry. Wait, where does it? No, that's VTuber Plus. Prim, why is your stream a technical disaster? There we go. I may have a bit of a one-track mind. Yeah, that may be a bit of a thing. Earth. So yeah. Yes, we'll be watching that. There's actually a sequel. We won't watch them in order. Hey, cutie. Yes. So I don't know how to do the thing where I shift up and over to the middle. I don't know how to do that yet. But this is new. I only learned this last week. Didn't get used for the VR chat stream, obviously, but and I don't have a stream deck. My stream is held together with baling wire and duct tape. It's a mess, but I have furs who know what they're doing. Let me adjust my little leap motion thingy here. It keeps, oh, that's why the stupid cable keeps pulling it down. There we go. So I have for namely my wonderful otter, Kyer, who apparently is going to help me with the Vinion and all that. I know a few streamer furs who know this stuff a lot better than me, which is pretty much everybody, but they're busy and it's hard to get a hold of some of them. So when Kyer gets back, we'll have a little heart to heart, maybe fix some of the technical disaster. So it's this Saturday, movie night, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. The time should be in the event in the Discord. There, however, 2 events, two two fingers. Two. There are two events. Two. Sorry. And the second event will be the 15th. Will be the subsequent Saturday, where we'll have the second VR chat meetup. Boogity boogity boo. Hi, K9. Hello, and a boogity boogity to you as well, love. Thank you for joining. Urf. Luigi, thank you for being here. Urf. Yeah, those are some. Hello, that's my microphone, not my paw. That is Heyo and a Killbot as wait, that's not Killbot sticker. That's somebody else. But anyway, Urf. It's thank you for joining, Urf. So we will have the second VR chat meetup on Saturday the 15th. There is a group now in VR chat. There are a whopping 36 members to this group, which just floors me. Joining the group is highly recommended. It will make getting into the instance much easier. It'll also make it easier for me to get into the instance when I crash out of VR and how to get it back in my own instance, which was a problem last time. So hopefully that won't happen again. And then we'll be in VR and we'll have a good time. I found a different world. We're going to be using Sovereign's Chill Club this time, actually. So we'll have big, nice integrated screens. At this club is very nice. There is audio link this time, so there will be dancing. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. I need to set up a playlist. I need to do a lot of stuff. No lockable private rooms, unfortunately. That's the one drawback, but there's a whole lot of spaces. Forgotten Moon. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate this very much. Thank you for being here and for being here with me. So, without further ado, I can't get to my button. So we'll go with that, and we'll go with that, and this is a great song, but it's not totally appropriate. So I'm gonna. Oh, hecky, that's an excellent song as well. So let's stick with that. So I want something a little more peaceful. Come on. Give it Spotify. Give me something nice. There we go. That's a little better. So anyway, let's talk about Saturday. Because as pretty much everybody knows, including the shirt and everything, the singlet, this is called a singlet. Although in Europe, they call them a vest, which I guess is right. It is a vest. It's not like a formal vest, which is heavy. This is essentially just a place to hang the bib. This thing is called a bib with a number. You'll see one shortly. Because I ran another marathon. Because I'm crazy. Because I wanted to do better. And after Athens, when a lot of things went wrong, Athens was of course my first, but and I finished. I have yet to DNF a race in my career, which is kind of amazing, although I've only done about 10 of them. But I finished again, and I wanted to be more consistent, but I was very, very inconsistent in Athens. I walked a lot. I pretty much just ran out of gas at about 30 kilometers in, and pulled 5:18 for a time, which is fine. That's well under the standard 6-hour surrender time in most places. Athens had a whopping 8, which is extremely forgiving. This went better. So, everyone, I would like to take you to Nevada before we get to California for Death Valley, because Death Valley is actually in California, but it's right on the border with Nevada. So I actually stayed in Nevada. This is Nevada. Central Nevada into Western Nevada and the desert, Eastern California, is an unbelievably stark place. It is full of ramrod straight highways that are desolate even by the standards of other U.S. Western U.S. highways that I have been with for my entire life. I grew up in San Jose, California. I went to school in Arizona, so I drove back and forth quite a lot. The interstate that goes on forever, that you can see for many, many miles in the distance, is something I'm familiar with. This is a whole other level. This thing is empty. I just pulled over straight onto the side of the road, got in my car and snapped this picture, and there was nobody there. There's nobody there. There is other traffic, but this is nothing. Nada, zilch. This goes on for 50 miles straight as an arrow because there ain't nothing in the way. It's just a highway. It's just absolutely, this place is absolutely wild. It's arid, utter devastation. It truly looks like another world, which is why they use this region, specifically the Death Valley National Park itself, to film Star Wars: A New Hope back in the 70s. Yes, this is Tatooine. Thankfully, there's only one sun, although one is enough because it's a little hot here. We'll get to that in a second. So there are Joshua trees, which I did not get any pictures of. I really should have. They're really interesting. Scrub and very little else. Abandoned mines. This is a dramatically, vastly different place than Athens, which was really hugely different. Even out to Marathon and all, Greece is hilly and green and lovely and heavily populated compared to Nevada, which is so friggin' open and useless that everything north of Las Vegas, until you get to places like Elko and a few places, there's a Highway 80 that cuts across the middle of the state, is all dedicated to the Nellis Air Force Base ranges. So they, home of legendary Area 51, namely Groom Lake, Nevada, which is, of course, truly bullshit. There is no such thing as aliens in Area 51. If they have them, they're not putting them there. It's a misdirection. And also, I'm sorry, but if aliens are going to cross interstellar distances, we're going to know. They're not going to be stealthy about it. Fucking hell, that's a long way. Earth. They're not going to do a little hide out, do weird shit and hide from us. Who the fuck would be like ants? Anyway, Flare the Dragon Wolf. Hello. This is Flare as a Dragon Wolf. I did not know you were that. I do know you have a dragon avatar. Hello, my love. It is a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So, Nevada and Death Valley, California was really quite astonishing. I've flown over here a bunch of times, never through the Nellis ranges. They don't let us fly through here. Nobody can fly through here. There are things called military operations areas that go from Las Vegas all the way up north to that I-80 corridor from Elko to Reno. That middle section is, you just don't go there. You're never going to get permission to fly through there. I never went through there. You have to go down around Vegas or up north over I-80 in an airliner. There ain't no cutting across the middle there. We never flew over Groom Lake or Area 51 or anything like that. Not because of the aliens, but because they use us for training. They're out there and they're shooting at each other with live ammunition. They're using live bombs. They're doing, because this is utter nothing. There ain't nobody here. So this is the perfect place to use for all this kind of training. This is where they trained to drop the nuclear weapons of World War II, because they could just drop them with high precision over the same empty flat plane over and over again. And it was just great. It is me. I'm half dragon, half wolf. Oh, well, I like dragons and I like wolves. This is a good combination. I'm working on stuff with that. My boy, let me get this right. I'm working on stuff with that. My boyfriend made a dragon winterpaw hybrid. Ooh. Oh my. This sounds very exciting. I'd love to see it. By the way, I would use that road as my drag strip. So totally understandable, Astral, and I really get it. The urge. Well, this is also, it's 2-lane highway. The only way you can pass anybody is to go over into the opposing traffic. So yes, my car will do 100 miles an hour, because the only intelligent way to pass somebody at high speeds on a 2-lane highway is to floor it. So I just nailed the accelerator to the floor when passing anybody, and yes, my car will actually get above 100 miles an hour, which is not that bad for a Camry hybrid. But no, not a problem. But then I slowed it back down because there's not many, but there's a few costs, because they know this place will attract people. So yes, you may have a lot of fun and do 200 miles an hour and have a blast of a time, and you're never going to have a problem because it's ramrod straight. So as long as you don't lose control, you're certainly not going to have a problem with the curves, because there aren't any. But there could be somebody out there, and then you're going to have a bad day, because congratulations, that's a felony. And you have to go and report to getting a ticket in a podunk place like Beatty, Nevada, which is where I stayed, which is a wide spot in the road. If you've ever seen one, I have a picture about that. It's great. So anyway, if they can catch me, wow. You do realize they have aircraft, you know? I mean, they have police interceptors. They have Earth. This, yeah. Astral, be a good boy. I love you. I need you alive. Earth. Hecky. Earth. You already scared the shit out of me with your car once already. Thank you. Don't do it again. Earth. Anyway, this race, the Death Valley Marathon, was a vastly different event than the authentic in Athens, Greece. 300 runners versus 21,000 in Greece. This is a much, much smaller event. Athens, the cradle of Western civilization and democracy, as long as you're a freeborn male who owns property, but we won't talk about that. Democracy, yes, but versus this, nothing. Utter devastated. Huge citywide pageantry in Athens with vast history versus a desolate wasteland where they run a marathon on a shoestring. But it's fine. You're fine. Be a good boy, Astral. I'll give you a treat later, Earth. So also slightly less than 3 months elapsed from the time I finished my very first marathon of my entire life. A little less, 2 months and about 20 days, and a year older, because shortly after the Athens Marathon, I turned 50. Yeah, I'll make you burr love. So why did I do this one? Well, for one, I wanted to run more marathons, and I've signed up for a total of 3 more this year. The fourth I was thinking of in the fall, but I might end up being out of the country at that time. But I wanted this one due to the name, because running in Death Valley is just so iconic. It's like, you did what? You ran a marathon where? Are you crazy? That's exactly the reaction I'm hoping for. So this is some of the most inhospitable terrain. It is pretty much the most inhospitable terrain in the United States, and some of the most inhospitable in the entire world. The highest ambient air temperature ever accurately recorded. That's not to say that it's ever the highest temperature that's ever occurred on the planet, but the highest that's been actually scientifically verified and recorded occurred in 1913 in what is now called Furnace Creek, which is where the race started and finished in Death Valley, 190 feet below sea level. We'll get to that in a second. So, yes. How hot was it? It was 58 degrees Celsius, which works out to 134 Fahrenheit. That's hot. Holy fuck. That'll kill you dead real fast. Earth. So I didn't stay in Death Valley. There is not many hotels. It's a tourist trap. It's isolated a lot. Therefore, they charge abusive rates. So I stayed in this little podunk place called Beatty, Nevada, which is at the end of this road. Welcome to Beatty, Nevada. Now, you may notice that we do have all the normal facilities. We've got electric car charging stations. Even somebody brought their Cybertruck. There's a few cars charging up. And then we have, if you look carefully at that charging station on the left, just to the right of the red car, we have a donkey hanging out behind that. I saw this, and I just had to walk out there in the middle of the parking lot behind my hotel and just snap some pictures, because it's like, this is so fucking iconic. This is absolutely insane. I ended up driving an hour each way from here in Beatty out to, I see a fridge on wheels. Yes, that's, God, those things are so fucking ugly. And it's got to be so aerodynamic. I don't understand, but there's a few of them about, or whatever. So I drove an hour each way from the race every time. I did this 3 times back and forth to Beatty, which is the white spot in the road. It doesn't even have a traffic light. It has one stop sign. That's it. This is peopled by a few hard Scrabble folks left over from the mining days. What? This is totally going to get me banned. So we'll just move on from that. So although it's very appropriate that the Force theme here talking about Tatooine, but The donkeys at the Tesla charging station was just iconic, but there was more to the donkeys than just this. There were actually quite a few of them floating around. And in the middle of the night, at 5 in the morning, in utter pitch black, inky, no moon darkness, when I was driving out to get to the race, because the race started at 7 and I had to drive an hour to get out there and get ready to stretch and everything, I almost plowed into about 30 of them because I'm tearing down the road at 60 miles an hour and I see one crossing the road, so I go behind it and brake and almost run into the rest of them. Fortunately, there was a gap in the herd that I managed to put my car through and didn't touch any of them. That was a miracle. I am absolutely shocked that I didn't totally just either kill several of them, have one come through the windshield. I don't know, but that is, I mean, it's like, okay, I'm awake now. I'm awake now. Hey, donkey on the road. It's like, it was sticky in darkness and full of donkeys. Yes, I had the high beams on. It didn't help. It's Jesus, like being at the bottom of the ocean. It's so fucking dark down there. Earth. So we talked about Furnace Creek. So we're going to drive, we're going to leave Beatty behind and we're going to drive into actually Death Valley itself. So this is the road into Death Valley. Wait, is this the actual? No, this is the road from, this is Death Valley. This is actually Death Valley itself. So, oh yeah, that's, my notes are a little off. So this is the road from Beatty, just called the Beatty Road, into Death Valley. And you can see, come on, Paw. You can see there in the distance, the actual valley of Death Valley, which is all below sea level. I am above sea level right now, but I very rapidly will be below it. And the entirety of the marathon took place well below sea level. This is the lowest place in the United States. It's actually called a graben. I just learned that when I looked it up. This is, it's actually fallen down from geological processes. There's faults on both sides of these mountains, and it's slipped down, so it's actually sunk. So if the ocean gets in here, it will fill this thing up and turn it into a lake. Fortunately, that has not happened yet, so we're all good. But it's dry, it's arid. There's very little to zero rainfall here. This is a terrible place, but it is. If you like stark beauty, we got a lot of it here. So, all right. So, and this picture, welcome to Furnace Creek. This is the home of that aforementioned highest temperature ever recorded on this earth. It was taken right here in 1913. Fortunately, we did the race in February. So the high was about 70 Fahrenheit. So it was much, much better. So I'm not crazy. I'm not going to run a marathon in August or July when I would die. There is one that is run here in summer. That's called the Badwater. That's an ultra marathon. It's like 130 miles and they run it in August. And ultra marathoners are crazy because they think that, oh, a marathon's not hard enough, so we're going to make it much, much worse. Not, I mean, never say never, but for heck's sake, I mean, I'll do triathlon first. Heck no, Earth. So we are going to have an ad, but I'm just going to let that roll. Most everybody here is probably subbed anyway. So Earth. So this is the start finish line of the race. This is a very small operation, which is, it felt lacking for even such a small race as this with only 300 participants. There's no buses here. Every race, they collect you at the start line and then they bus you out to 26 miles for a marathon, 13 for a half, whatever. And then you run back. And so you run back to where your car is, which is extremely convenient. And all the facilities are at the finish line. Not here. So we did what called out and back. So you run out and then you come back halfway. Only we didn't even do it halfway. We only went 1/4. We went a little over 6.5. So you go out and back and then you go out and back again. It's a double out and back on a poorly marked, treacherous course on active highways. So let's look at this course. So this, hi Prim, my good little wolf. Canadian, it is a pleasure to see you again, love. Thank you for being here. We're talking about the Death Valley Marathon that I just ran on Saturday. So This is the entrance to Mustard Canyon. Now you can sort of see the rocks there in the distance. This isn't the greatest shot because it actually gets much steeper, much hillier, much rockier. I couldn't get my car down there. I ran that 4 times. So because you have to go back and forth twice. So I traversed this mile and a half or so of hills and rocks and stones where runners were falling and bleeding. I ran next to a guy for a while that his leg was covered in blood. I felt very bad because they had no friggin' first aid facilities. It was ridiculous. But I did this 4 times. Mustard Canyon is unbelievably stark. There's no water anywhere here. It's ridiculous. So it's really quite something. But that's part of the course. But the main body of the course was here. This is Highway 190. This is the north-south highway that runs through the middle of Death Valley National Park. And this is what I ran on. They didn't block it off. They can't. This is the only thing. This is the only highway. I've run highway marathons, highway races before, or a half marathon in Escalante. But I ran on this exact stretch right here. I did this 4 times. It's stark and it is actually quite beautiful, but it's really something. This is so vastly different than Athens, because in Athens there were people lining the entire course, all 26 miles, the entire way. There were thousands. When you got into the city, there were tens of thousands. It was absolutely wild. There were advertisers with archers and announcers and dancers, for heck's sake. And here, nothing. Absolutely zilch. And on the last quarter, when I came back after that second turnaround, things had stretched out so much and everyone had sort of segmented them out so far based off how fast they were going. I was alone. I couldn't see anybody in either direction through the entirety of Mustard Canyon. For most of this highway, I was utterly by myself. There were only 3 aid stations at the turnaround, at the entrance to Mustard Canyon, the other side, not the one for the photo I just showed, and the start-finish line. That's it. We were on our own. So I brought my own food, my energy gels. I went through a lot of them. My water supplies did not work. The bottles kept falling off. So yeah, it was kind of dry, but they did have water there. So I did get up there and I double fist and slugged out 2 entire cups each time. That was enough, but I was a little dry at the end. So I really should have brought my water backpack with my with reservoir. So hey, live and learn, Prim. It's Death Valley for a reason. Yes, love. Yes, Canadian, it absolutely is. They call it Death Valley for a very good reason. Earth. So, see here. I talked about Mustard Canyon. 3 aid stations. Water bottles didn't work. My energy gels did. You'll see the little carrier I have for that in a bit here. So, what was the goal for this race? This is the bulk of the race. This is where I spent all the time. This is where it all really came down when you're just running down this road. It's flat most of the way, although the net elevation gain in this race was 0 because of course we climbed up hills and back down again 4 times, so there was a lot of hill, but you don't actually get any credit for it. Why did I do this? Well, I wanted to be consistent because in Athens I was not. My paces were all over the place and I ran out of gas and I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't keep up the pace that I was trying to hold and ended up walking. I wanted to, at the very least, not walk, and I wanted to hold an 11-minute mile pace. That is not fast. I can run a 7-minute mile, but only 1. I can hit less than 6, but only very briefly. For 26 miles, I wanted to do 11. And I wanted to do that the whole way. And that's the hard part, because that means holding that exertion for more than 4 solid hours without any breaks at all. And I knew if I could, the weird, it's a great song, but we'll go past that with the voiceover. Anyway, I need to work on my audio. Anyway, my time of 5:18 from Athens was actually pretty good for a very first marathon, despite all that problem. If I could be consistent, I knew I could do severe damage to that time. Well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Hi, Cade. Earth. Earth. Is Bryce here? I didn't see him. Earth. And his puppy's almost always here. Earth. Anyway. So, it's hard for me to show this next photo. Because this is not from Death Valley. This is not from this year. This is from so long ago now. But I wanted to show you the difference. I wanted to show you what this has done, how I have changed. This is the Houston Space Center 2019 in late summer. And that is me. I don't know who this is. Ed Fox was still trapped in the hospital room and never made it out. This is only months after she died. Prim had retired a decade ago when I left Second Life. I had not pulled her back out of retirement, and I certainly had not tried to become her. Or me, him now. I weighed somewhere north of 300, 310. And I actually had tried to run because my mother-in-law had said I needed to get out and do something instead of staring at a wall. And with all that weight, I blew my knees out twice. I would do that a total of 4 times before I finally wised up and decided to get rid of it all. Lantern holder. Oh, love. That's you, Diamond, right? God, thank you. I'm glad to see you, love. I don't want to look at this anymore. That was the old me. We'll get to a better one in a bit. So I want to talk about the hardest part. Because the hardest part of someone's life, of what they're trying to do, it's not some... All pics of you are handsome and cute. I look like a fucking balloon. I felt terrible then. I was lost. Anyway, such a stud. Wow, thank you, love. Earth, for real, such a stud. Earth. Okay, anyway, the hardest part, it's not some theatrical scene with someone pressed up against the wall by a doorway with a gun in their hand and an enemy on the far side and the music playing in the background, and it's the moment of truth. That's not real life. That's not what really happened. I call Riser a gummy bear for a reason. I never care about what anybody else looks like. I care what I look like myself. I save all my criticism for myself. I couldn't care less what anybody else looks like. Everything about me is skinny but my gut. I couldn't care what anybody else looks like. It's all for me. All my hatred is for me. So the hardest part is not some theatrical preset scene. It actually comes on the worst days you'll ever have. I've had several of those. Always in a hospital. Days that I wish I could forget, but I never will. But they also happen when you try to do something unbelievably hard. Which is why I run races. Which is why I run marathons. Not only do I want to show all of you that it's possible for a broken, destroyed, out of shape, old wolf to do something like this, but I want to prove it to myself that I can do something and that I can push through these hardest times. And it happens every single race. Every single race has that part where you tell yourself, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing out here? Why am I keep going? What is the point of this? All I have to do is stop. No one will care. Though it shouldn't be. I get that. This happens a lot of races. Sometimes it's the very first mile. Sometimes it happens very quickly. Sometimes it's sometime in the middle. I remember a 10K I did roughly about mile 4. Oh yeah, it hit hard. I was looking up at the sky going, you got to be fucking kidding me. Am I actually doing this? And I finished it. This time, It happened at the very, very end. Because I held that pace. I actually held 10:25 in average. I finally slipped at the end, but I kept the gas on. I didn't walk one fucking step for 26 miles. My heart rate was over 155 for the last half an hour. That's a long time to be up there. And my pace was barely clinging to under 12-minute mile. I wanted that 11 so bad, and I couldn't even hold it anymore. Everything hurt so bad. And remember Mustard Canyon, I was all alone through there. Utterly alone. It felt like I couldn't do it. And then when I got back out on the road, that last mile and change to the finish line, every single step was agony. But I knew that I just had to keep going. Just had to make it to the next sign that was only a few hundred feet away, and the next one after that, and the next one after that. And then there was the finish line. I just had to make it to that. So I just kept going. And yes, it hurt. But the biggest thing was I couldn't let them down. Bryce, Care, Riser, Astral, Sakuru, Alabaster, Daddy Flare, non-Daddy Flare, who's actually here. Both of you are wolves. Both of you are blue. Come on, guys. Make this a little easier on me. Or if I'm kidding, of course. J-Rock, Sky, Czar, Diamond is also here. That's my microphone. Kyre, Jackie. I could go on and on and on and on with everyone that I will not fucking disappoint. I will not let them down. That was Saturday. I finished in 4 hours and 33 minutes. I ripped 45 minutes off my personal record in 3 months. I shattered every goal that my coach had set, that I had set, everything. I wasn't consistent at 11-minute miles. I was consistent at 10 and a half. I got called Mr. Consistency by another runner. I was a bit of the course darling. They were cheering me on. They're just a tiny little crowd, but they were cheering me on. They called me a machine. They were wrong. I'm a wolf. God damn it, I don't give up. So yes, my PR in the full marathon now is 4 hours and 4.5 hours. This is the largest delta that will ever happen for the rest of my life. Every increase, should they come, will be incremental, because a 45-minute change in times is gigantic. That's absolutely monumental. Now it's going to be a lot harder. I can hold 10 and a half. Can I hold 10 flat? Can I hold 9? Can I hold 8? I don't know. That's what the training is for. But that's the goal. That's why I do it. I weigh 215 pounds now. A little bit healthier now. You can never disappoint me, love, or any of us. Wait, is that... What the fuck? I put voice on... Oh, that must not be voice. It must be the other phone line. For fuck's sake. Give me just a second here. Earth. Man. Not fucking ringing. Hecky. Hecky. Sorry. God, that was very persistent. Just rang and rang and rang. Call him back. A little busy. Thank you for the lurkade. Oh, ring. I know. It's always... I muted the damn thing, but it rang anyway. So, how does somebody do something like this? How do you change yourself that much? How do you run a marathon in the first place, and how do you do one 45 minutes faster than the last? Well, this is how. Right there. That's as of this morning. No, I haven't run since the race. I have walked. I'm back on recovery walks for a week, and the next run will be Saturday. I am a lot better, though. Yeah, I hurt, but I got better pretty fast. I recover pretty fast now. So, hey, I'm Primrose. I'm a wolf. I run marathons. There you go. Hope you all enjoyed that. I was absolutely shocked I could be this fast. I was absolutely just blown away. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. Perf. All right. Yeah. So let's see your races. 3 5Ks, 2 10Ks, 4 half marathons, and now 2 marathons. That for finishing in my endurance races. Age block 3rd. Never hit the this believe it. I appreciate it. Janky. I don't join for all of you. Because I'm broad, not. And yes, go. I don't. And there we go. Why is Twitch? That is. I can hear you. There's nothing I can do about us. A game. So we're gonna play a little more. So, oh, that's going on now. It's techie. I have no. I can do about it.